Hello everybody. What we have in here is one of the copies of the Crying Boy painting, and thanks to Elemental Encounters for sending me this. So thanks to Andy and Becky, they signed the back of it like I asked them to do. I'm going to show you the painting now, and I'm going to run a Spirit Box session. I'm going to turn on a little REM pod here as well, put a little bit of proximity into it as well. Everybody knows about the Crying Boy painting. My earliest memories of it is that I remember as a teenager seeing a copy of the Crying Boy painting at home, broke up in little bits in a bucket outside. It was around 1985 when an article in the news highlighted to concerns about the Crying Boy painting. Now I have a smaller version of it, but I also have one of the many copies that people had around their homes, and as you can see there, it was signed to by Elemental Encounters, which is pretty class. That's bubble wrap, and this is the actual painting. So I'm going to that's the copy of the painting there. So it's one of these copies that used to be displayed in people's homes. It's not something that I would it wouldn't be up to my taste in regard to home decor, but way back in the 80s, you know, tastes were different than they are now. But that is the painting. I personally don't have any worries about it, although a lot of people still fear this painting and fear the copies of it. You see a lot of videos and a lot of experiments regarding this painting to do with the fire service and that, and the conclusion that a lot of them had was, can we see the painting, can we? The conclusion a lot of people had in regards to the experiments was that the painting or the copies is made of some sort of fire retardant material, and when a fire takes hold in a home, the heat rises up. What happens then is the piece of string that holds up the painting snaps. The painting then falls to the ground and debris falls on top of it, shielding it from the higher temperatures above. Now, that's what I thought about this painting. That's what I thought possibly was happening. But there is another twist to it, in that if this is a copy of a painting, there should be other copies of other paintings made in a similar way. And why a similar case didn't come up with other paintings, you know. But I'm going to just turn on the Spirit Box and just let it run for a while and see what I get from it. It's a while since I used this camera. This is one of the old Sony night vision cameras and that. So I have a little bit of a REM device. I'm not expecting anything to touch it. I do get a little bit of activity in the house, but it's kind of sporadic. You might get a bit of activity for 1 or 2 nights and then it will stop for about 5 or 6 months. But I'm going to turn on this Spirit Box here, and it's a matter of switching it on. It gives nice clean audio. Could you tell me about the picture? The picture I just took in. Could you tell me about the picture?
We have a lot of
Andy and Becky also sent me this little gnome stuck on the back of the picture, and you know, I was really more excited about the gnome than the actual picture, because that's a piece of, you know, it's personal and that, you know. So you know, massive thanks to Andy and Becky for that. We have a lot of objects in the house here, but I'm trying to organise them in one space. I'm trying to organise shelving in my hallway. How many is communicating with us tonight? This picture came from Barnsley Antique Centre, and that stirred up a lot of attention when a door of a glass cabinet exploded on front of a security camera. Do you know, and those cabinets would have toughened glass in it. And that was captured on a CCTV camera, and actually it's available on YouTube. If I get a chance, I will link it in the description. Many's here to communicate with us tonight. I'm going to bring in a device that I recently got as well, so just to help things.
See.
He saw it won't be tracked. So
People just go in the air. Love.
Of course, it would be in the last box I would have to open.
Do you know what? Invest.
It's best to just let it.
Right, I got an EDI machine. It's the MF1, it's the older version of it. They stopped making this. You got an EMF, you have an EMF sensor here. You got a geophone here, which is similar to your flashy balls. And this up here is your temperature. When it's flashing, it is calibrating it. So I'm going to stick that.
Very solidly.
I'm going to stick that over here. This is very sensitive. This building is basically made from wood, so it picks up every little bit of vibration, even through the air.
Piano and a mic. Little baby a mic. And
It says 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The many's here to communicate with us. Can you tell us about the painting?
Emotion.
Several males called.
Is it? Sounds like bliss.
Could you tell me who owned the painting?
Directed.
Change my way of doing it. Well, the tuner.
flicker or the vibration here, even though I'm not moving. But it could be the speaker vibrating through the air, you know. I want to move the speaker this way. You see how sensitive that is?
Here where they don't have to click. Having 70. Yeah.
Is there any energies connected with this painting?
Nothing. And hairs. Study to assess.
Don't know where I am in the zoom.
Sometime.
Maybe I would choose.
Where's he kind?
Forever on a bit of a.
So this can be seen. It's going to be a little bit of vibration because of the radio here. Actually, I'm going to put the radio here.
History.
The radio is just off camera.
Artists.
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair.
One lesson.
Many predators.
I'm going to change over. I'm going to change over to the. I'm going to change over to the 12-587 here and see if we get anything interesting.
Back to you. What is that?
Kanye. For the rest of
It's 61 degrees Fahrenheit. The dog is just set off the motion sensor again. Sit down, Phoebe. Of course you have to set it off. Just sit down, go to bed, please.
Tomorrow morning.
Bedtime. Could you tell me how many's communicating with us tonight? I don't know where that vibration is coming from.
Easy bit.
So I'm not moving. It could be my voice through the air. It's not showing any EMF, but if it did show it, I would turn to basically turning off all the electricity in the house and try and eliminate it and try again, sort of thing. It's not that hard for the length of time that you're doing any kind of an investigation, just to flick the switch and turn off all the power, you know?
As well. The present.
Border. Missions come. You discovered the phone clubs.
Could you tell me how many energies, how many spirits is in the house tonight? Can you tell me how many?
When he heard
The movement is flickering slightly, but it's not going to be extremely accurate here because there's 3 floors of a building and there's people living underneath me, and their very movement could actually put off the device. I'll just show you. So even loud sounds can vibrate through the air and trigger this device, you know. So it'd be more sort of suitable in a solid building, you know. I'm going to turn it back to the box. I know I'm swapping and changing here, but which I shouldn't be. I don't think it's a good idea. I think I'm going to leave it. Do you know if you swap and change too much, you could lose communication if you get it, you know? So it works on something, what I tend to do is I tend to stick with it, you know? Could you tell me what where this picture came from? Could you tell me what your name is? Do you know who I am? Do you know the people that used to own this painting? It's great my 12-587 hasn't stopped yet.
All you're aware of now, but they set a passion.
Me and my big mouth.
Text. Stevenson held the.
Just when I said it. The reason why I'm not in front of the camera is I'm trying to stay out of the environment in case we see anything, you know?
Food poisoning, recurring tonsillitis. He gave me
Tonsillitis.
Treasure Island.
Different type.
Over 5
Michael Lucan.
Stand.
If you're communicating with me right now, could you say the word spirits for me, please?
Run. Right now.
Don't know what that was.
Wild apple.
Do you know who I am?
Mike. So we're looking right,
Situation we're in, because it's basically the inside of this place is wood. If you're present here with us, could you might say my name, which is Sam? Whoa. Sam or Samantha is fine. Got a funny feeling they almost got there. Can you say my name? You can see there I'm still spinning away here. Could you tell me, is there any energies attached to any items in this house? Yeah? Could you tell me what item has got energy attached to it? I'm gonna give my fingers a rest. You know, I'm not in front of the camera very much tonight, and the reason why I'm not is I'm investigating an item, right? Now, you know, there's people that don't believe in attachments to object and stuff like that. I believe that there's some sort of can be attachments to certain items and that. Obviously, to investigate something like this, it's not going to take just one sort of investigation like this. You gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep, you gotta keep working at it. Keep asking the questions. You know, the information builds up over time. You're not going to get a full picture, in one sort of investigation like this. It takes a lot. It takes even putting a camera on, facing it for a long period of time. If you want to do some ITC for a long period of time, this is just about an hour of this whole thing sort of thing. And it's not going to, you may get some evidence around it. You may get light anomalies coming towards it or whatever, but it's the same with a location. You're not, one night is not a huge, it's not going to be a huge sort of, you're not going to get a huge amount from one location in one night, and that's why sometimes we go back to a place and try to gather as much as we can, and keep doing that. If we get some evidence in one place and we keep coming back and we keep getting more and more, we're not going to walk away from that. We're going to come back to it, But I'm going to turn back on the wooden box if I can find it, and just a little bit more of this and see if we can get anything more coming up through on it. Is this little thing? I'm putting it on the couch here, so it's kind of cushioned a little bit, so it won't, hopefully it won't cause vibration. Can you still come through?
Mobile phone.
Don't know what that was. disturb things for a second.
But there. Get tested.
Get tested.
See you on Thursday night. Faust is
Singing you very short.
Can you still use this radio to speak to me? The other thing too about staying out of the immediate area that you're investigating. If you're walking around a lot in the area, the immediate area that you're investigating, you could raise dust, you know. Now, obviously, I have a dog here, and she sheds a lot of hair. It could raise a dog hair into the atmosphere, but then again, you get to know what's floating debris and what's a light normally, you know. Too much reverb. Can you show yourself as a light? Could you tell me what items in this house have got an attachment to it?
Like we got homes on.
so you'll be able to.
What's this about? On a mission to show Coke.
Romantic and all.
That was my stomach.
High quality. Who's that? Be discovering that.
Nature.
I'm going to say goodbye now. before I go, can you touch the blue light that's on the table? Or the orange box? Just to show that you're here.
Open for business. Radio.
Can you touch the orange box again? Or can you touch the blue light?
Head above the parapet. 4 weeks to make. We spoke to a woman.
Are you able to show yourself in that glass?
Longer, healthier. Nothing.
In the door? Okay, I'm going to cut communication now. I'm going to finish. I'm going to turn the radio off now. Can I speak to you again? Right, well, finished now. See that, just even that tap. Right. That was me, obviously. Even people that have got a good head on their shoulders have said to me, make sure that your fire alarms are working and you've got some sort of fire extinguisher. And that is coming from people with a good head on their shoulders and they are very skeptical of a lot of myths that are out there. But a lot of people are they're skeptical, but they're still very cautious of this, because the attitude is, what if I'm wrong? You know, so these paintings, even the copies, generate a lot of fear around them, and that's why they bring up. They get a lot of attention in the paranormal community. I have no place to put it right now. I've just got it a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to do a space out in the hallway, and I possibly will have to get carpenters in, or I get some sort of casings done to put items into and stuff like that. So, you know, it'll go back into the box until everything is sort of sorted and that. I'm in a new building, but I have had responses in relation to some of the items that are here. One was a pink dress doll, and it was named Molly, and I was very skeptical of it. But through the Spirit Box, sessions, I've often asked what's the name of the doll without mentioning the name, because when you mention the name, what happens is sometimes whatever's communicating through the Spirit Box can copy what you're saying. So if you're trying to get information and if there's already information you know, try to hold on to that information and try to get the response through the Spirit Box. So if you're looking for a name, try, if at all possible, not to mention the name, because whatever way the communicators can communicate, they can actually copy sometimes what you say, But, it's a while since I've done any sort of an investigation, and, over the last couple of months, because we've been in the situation we've been in, I've been doing Spirit Box sessions and stuff, and that's about it. So I'm kind of sort of easing myself back into doing some sort of a paranormal investigation, and because it's raining outside and stuff, I'm just easing myself into it by doing some work with this painting tonight, So, I hope you enjoyed it. We just do things the way they are. We don't do fancy editing or anything like that. We give the viewer all our footage. If we go to a place and we're filming for 4 hours, we try to get the 4 hours of footage out to the people. No jump cuts, nothing fancy or anything like that. And if we go to an investigation, we're investigating for hours, and we don't get anything, we're still going to put it up, because a lot of the time, that's what paranormal investigating is. When you go fishing, you don't always catch fish, But did we get any responses on the Spirit Box communication tonight? Possibly, possibly. I just wanted to give this a go tonight. If I was doing a proper investigation, I would remove the dog and stuff like that, but I was just easing myself back into it and just show you the painting here. And I kind of have it because of the Barnsley Antique Centre, which people like Elemental Encounters and Phil Sinclair have investigated, and they have put up footage of their CCTV camera with things falling and things mysteriously moving, and of course that iconic piece of a glass unit that holds items made of toughened glass exploding on front of the camera, which I thought was pretty interesting, because those kind of cabinets are made from a toughened glass. So, what caused the glass to explode outwards? I don't know, but it was caught on camera anyway, So this is an item from that antique centre, The building itself, I think, has a bit of a history to it. If I get a chance, I'll put a link in the description to some of those investigations, including Elemental Encounters. So thanks to Andy and Becky for sending me over this. Really appreciate it, and hopefully I can find a place for it and get organised with some of the items that I have, and I can show you all the items someday in a video. We don't claim that everything has an attachment to it, but some of them I think do have some sort of energy attachment to them. It's a thing I work outside doing paranormal investigating. So that is it, folks, and I will see you in the next video. Just to add to that, the painting used to belong to Elemental Encounters, and to me that's part of the story, you know. And to me it's an important part of that, because way back at the beginning of this journey I was subscribed to most of the high profile paranormal teams. So I was subscribed to them, you know, through their YouTube channels and stuff. And, you know, over time I've unsubscribed to 99.99% of them, and the team that's left out of the whole lot for me is Elemental Encounters. The simple reason is they tell things like it is. They moved focus slightly from where they were, but always telling things the way they are and in a truthful way. And that has, to me, you know, made me choose to stick with them. And they're nice people as well. You know, there's a whole array to that. You know, and even, you know, when I was sent it and I received this, I was actually more excited about this, because when you put a little personal gift in like that, it means a lot, you know. And I took a quick look at the painting, and then I was more fascinated by this little spare little gift that I wasn't expecting, and the signature on the back. You know, that is why I asked him to sign the back of it, you know. And yes, there's a lot of history to this painting, you know, through the newspapers at the time, the British tabloid newspapers at the time. I think it was the Mirror who put out an appeal for these paintings to be sent to them to be burnt. Now, was it a publicity stunt? I don't know. But you've got all that part of history to the painting. You got the fact that it's been in the Barnsley Antique Centre where Andy bought the painting. And you've got Elemental Encounters itself, the one channel that I have subscribed to the longest. You know, all the rest of them to me, you know, over time have gone, because to me a lot of those channels, they started off with good intentions, and then being a YouTuber kind of got in the way. But you know, now, you know, I see in the way Elemental Encounters content is being made, they're trying to tell a story. You know, they're trying to reach out to the viewers. They're trying to tell you what it's all about. And they use and edit and put together little productions like an art form. They put a lot of effort into it. They don't beg for subscribers, they don't beg for donations, they don't do the YouTube thing. They just want to tell you what they're all about, you know. And to me, you know, I'm glad that at the end of the number of years, to me, they've come out on top above all the other high profile paranormal teams that turn YouTubers. And I'm glad that Andy and Becky stuck to what they believe in, you know, and that's what it's all about, you know. And I've got something that belongs to them. That's part of the whole thing, you know. But I'm gonna go. Me and my little gnome here is gonna go, and we will see you in the next one. Things are changing. Things are changing. We've been stuck indoors for a long, long time, and we are excited to try and get out now soon. Things are changing. Unfortunately, what's happening at the moment is people are allowed to go where they want, but they're all going mad. We're asked not to go too far, so people are not going too far. The thing is, the places where I want to go, that's where people are, you know. So we're going to try and get around that problem. We'll figure it out, and we will get back up and running with business as usual, and we'll try, you know, we'll just keep learning. Just keep learning, you know. And this channel is all about documenting what we do, you know. That's all what it's about. It's not about this amount of subscribers, the amount of views or anything like that. We have a community here, and that's the most important thing to me, you know. So, you know, massive thanks for all the support. I never thought that this channel was going to have as many subscribers as it has, but you know, I really appreciate it, you know. I don't have the fancy intros and all that kind of stuff. I'm still learning, you know, as I'm going along. But you know, anytime we go out to an investigation, as I said before, we won't hold back on footage. We just give it to you the way it is. If we get things we do. If we don't. And if we see other interesting places on the way, even if we don't do a paranormal investigation, you know, I just do a little video on that as well, because it's memories as well, you know. It's kind of like a diary, you know. But you know, our focus is on the paranormal, is on getting out, seeing beautiful places. That's the focus for us, you know. It's not about popularity on YouTube, because you could be way up here, and all of a sudden it could be all taken away from you in a very short space of time, you know. So, you know, massive thank you, and we will see you in the next video.